Hey everybody, this is Brandon Ford and welcome to the Blind Rage podcast. I think my voice just squeaked right there, but we're gonna soldier on. This week we are doing Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-o-Rama, directed by David Dakota and starring 80s Scream Queen Titans Linnea Quigley, Michelle Bauer, and Brinke Stevens. I'm using the full moon edition of the film, which is streaming on fullmoonfeatures.com. And so if you want to watch along, that would be your best bet because it has the full moon logo at the beginning of the film. But if you have an alternative source, all you have to do is just start your movie after you hear the full moon logo on my end. It's not too difficult to identify. You just as soon as you hear the fluttering of the bats die down, then you know it's okay to start your movies. Or when you hear the Here in the Darkness song that is just Here in the Darkness over and over again start to fade in, then you can start your movie. First I want to say this before I get started. I love how I say we are doing at the beginning of every single commentary, like there's anybody else here but me. Yeah, I do these myself because I'm a fucking loser. Anyway, I want to get this out of the way. My neighbors are having something of an uproarious party. It must be spring fever or something, but they are being very loud, so much so that I can't have the window open, and they're blasting music. I heard the B-52s, not even a good B-52s song. It was the Rome. I don't like that song. At least play some fucking Rock Lobster. But the reason why I mentioned this earlier, I shit you not, they were blaring A Return to Innocence. If you don't know that song, I'm not going to sing it for you. I highly suggest you look it up on YouTube because it is a giant ball of cheese. Gotta get the plugs out of the way before we start the movie. Please check out my books in paperback and Kindle editions by going to Amazon.com or the Amazon app and typing in Brandon Ford. There you'll find several of my titles, or all of my titles that are in print actually, as well as my author page. You could also find my books in audiobook format by going to audible.com or the Audible app and typing in Brandon Ford. If you don't already, please follow me on Instagram at writer Brandon Ford. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, criticisms, recommendations, ideas for movies you'd like me to do commentaries for, please feel free to email me at blindragepod81@gmail.com. And alright, we are going to begin the movie with a 3, 2, 1 count. I have a feeling I'm going to hit the wrong button because I'm a fuck up, and that's what I do. So, let's pray. Alright, here we go. Hope you're ready, because I'm not. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, I got it right on the first try. Yay for me. There's the full moon logo. I'll give it a second in case you're not watching this edition. Here we go. So, yep. So, I was reading conflicting information about the movie earlier. I'd always heard that the poster and the title, well, I mean, it's not out uncommon, or it wasn't uncommon, probably still isn't uncommon. I don't know how Charles Band works, but this was released under Charles Band's Urban Classics company, or subsidiary to, well, no, this was before Full Moon. Full Moon, I think, was established in 89 with Puppet Master, so this was before Full Moon. And yeah, but Charles Band was producing films before then, and as far as I know, the majority of them were made based on the poster. The poster was made first. along with a catchy title, and this is the whole song, just over and over again. And again, I was gonna do the Peter Griffin and another, but of course there wasn't another Here in the Darkness. Anyway, so yeah, it was my understanding that the poster and the title were made or were done before the script, but supposedly, according to what I read or what was on Wikipedia or IMDb, it was just the poster. There wasn't a title. I knew that there was, that the working title was The Imp. I don't know. I just was under the impression that they decided to attach the poster to a pre-written script. I don't know. Or maybe they just assumed that Sorority Babes wouldn't be a passable title. But there was Charles Band supposedly wanted to name it Bitchin' Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-o-Rama, but MPAA wouldn't allow a movie with bitchin' in the title. I don't like bitchin' Sorority Babes anyway. Andras Jones, star of the film, was fond of that one, and he was the only one. There's Hal Havins, co-star of Night of the Demons with Linnea, and supposedly Linnea got him the job in this movie. There's some other conflicting information that I read about the film, and that was director David Dakota, wanted to work with Linnea so badly that he gave her the script and said, here, you can play any role you want. But he already worked with her on Creepazoids, so what the fuck? Or maybe he just wanted her for the movie? I don't know. Or for this movie. Or maybe he just wanted to work with her again. But the way it was worded and the way I read it, it sounded like he wanted to work with her for the first time. But yeah, they had already worked together on Creepazoids. Yeah, this is kind of set up to be a sex comedy. And then it turns into something else when they get to the bowling alley. And I also found it interesting that they made it a point to put on both IMDb and Wikipedia that they had to film the movie at the bowling alley overnight when the bowling alley was closed because the movie was so low budget. If a movie is low budget or big budget, I think they would do that anyway because it's quieter and you don't have to worry about people like fucking. Well, the bowling alley wasn't in the mall. Oh, and by the way, here's Robin Still, credited here as Robin Rochelle, R.I.P. The blonde in the middle playing Babs. I did not know that she was wearing a wig. I had no idea. Oh, poor Robin. She will forever be Valerie of the Slumber Party Massacre. And, she had her demons, and it's just very sad. She passed away in 1996. Suicide. Left behind a son, I believe. And, so yeah, I guess I should get into how I first saw the movie. This for sure would have been a movie that I grew up on had I been able to find it. But my mom and pop video store did not have it. And it was not a movie that was really available anywhere that I knew of. I think the VHS was out of print, I think. So even if I wanted to order it I couldn't have, but I didn't have money coming out the wazoo. So I only reserved ordering or special ordering VHS tapes for special movies and not, well, I say that, and one of the first movies I special ordered for myself was the fucking last Slumber Party, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, if it was something that I was able to find or I had seen, I don't think I saw. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive. Yes, I'm pretty positive that I did not see it on USA Up All Night, although it was supposedly an Up All Night staple. I don't know if I agree with that because I did watch Up All Night pretty regularly. Maybe they played it on Saturdays with Gilbert Gottfried. I really wasn't watching it that much on Saturdays because, well, Gilbert, I think everybody watched Up All Night for Rhonda Shear. And if you say you watched it for Gilbert Gottfried, then I think you're a person of interest, and I mean that in a bad way. There's Michelle Bauer and Brinke Stevens. I'm not going to berate her acting this time, but she's a terrible actress. Michelle, I enjoy very much. Love Michelle in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. And fuck, I went off. I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so if I had been able to find this one, this would have been a movie that I'd watched over and over again as a kid. But I was not able to find it until I was about 19, I want to say. And somebody made a dupe for me on VHS. And that was how I first saw it. And of course, I really enjoyed it. And it I got my first DVD player, I got my first DVD player in September 2001, right when everybody was starting to get DVD players. And this was in the first 20, I want to say. Somewhere in the first 20 DVDs that I bought. The first DVD I ever bought was the original Carrie. And I think Showgirls might have been number 3. But this was somewhere in the first 20. But I used to buy DVDs pretty fucking regularly. I remember going to Tower Records and this was again 2001, 2002-ish, and I would go to the Tower Records, and this was before, well, not everything still isn't on DVD, but I would go to Tower Records and I would go through their entire DVD stock. Because they didn't have, there were so few, let's say, movies that were available on DVD format that they weren't even categorized by genre. They were just all put together in alphabetical order. And I would literally go through every single DVD that they had until I found something that I wanted. Generally, everything in Tower was $15, which is a pain in the ass. I remember when I started seeing stuff being sold cheaper at Walmart. This was before the First, it was the $5.50 bin. Then it was the $5 bin. But Yeah, I remember seeing stuff for so much stuff being like 20, 25, $30, especially the special edition stuff, that when I started seeing stuff, movies for cheap or cheaper on DVD at Walmart, I was like, what? I remember thinking it was insane that I was able to get the special edition of The Craft on DVD at Walmart for like $9.88 or something like that. Um, and then when they started, and then before the 550 bin, there was a wall of 750 titles. And I remember they were all Columbia TriStar movies. I remember getting the, not The Craft, Jawbreaker and Sleepwalkers, a bunch of those. And then when the 550 bin was introduced, all bets were off. But yeah, those are good times, memories of a bygone era. I wonder what they have, and I'm sure that Walmart. I haven't been in a Walmart in forever, and because my visual disability, I can't rifle through the $5 bin, even if I wanted to. I love how this scene with Brink washing the whipped cream off her body, it like keeps reappearing. She clearly got it. I mean, it does not take much to get whipped cream off your skin. And she, yeah, it keeps cutting to Michelle, who's sitting there with no top on for no reason whatsoever. And then it keeps cutting back to Brink, and she's got more whipped cream on, and she's still bathing herself. You know, David Dakota made up for exploiting women much later by exploiting young boy. Well, I shouldn't say young boy. He didn't exploit young boys. I'm not saying David Dakota exploited young boys. I want to put that on record. Young men, 18 to 21-ish, very pretty and slender, some twinks. Yeah, and they were always. He has a briefs fetish, because there's almost always guys in briefs in his movies, and if that is before they take them off. I remember in I haven't seen it in forever because it's so fucking bad, and the opening and end titles are like literally 10 minutes, and this is like a fucking 80-minute movie. But in Dream Maniac, which is one of his first movies, if not his first movie, and a movie that he directed under a different name, he directed so many movies under so many pseudonyms. I don't know what the fuck. And he directed porn too. But yeah, in Dream Maniac, which you can find for free on Tubi. There's a scene where there's a guy-girl sex scene where the scene literally starts with a close-up of the guy in his boxer brief, in his briefs, regular plain white briefs, and it's a tight shot on his ass. He peels out of the briefs, tight shot on the ass, then he climbs into the bed and under the covers. Not that I'm complaining, but you know, it's good to see that, you know, he is an equal opportunity exploiter. However, he didn't go full frontal, at least not that I know. He probably did with his stupid Rapid Heart movies that I've seen a handful of, but they're so stupid. And you might as well just watch gay porn. I mean, I just don't understand the point. Just watch gay porn. What the fuck? Why would you watch softcore softcore fucking nonsense of guys who aren't even going to show anything. They're just going to rub themselves beneath their briefs for 20 minutes or spray themselves with a hose.
We don't have much choice. Lisa, I am not going anywhere with these sex maniacs. I don't like it any more than you do.
Speaking of David Dakota, I remember what it was such a fucking huge deal in 2012 when Cougar Cult was announced. Or I might have been 2011 it was announced. Well, no, it might not have even been. It might have been 2012 that it was announced because it was shot in like 3 or 4 days. Not that that's a bad thing, because so many of these movies of this time, movies by Wynorski and Fred Olen Ray and David Dakota, were shot over like 4, 5, 6, 7 days. This one, I found conflicting information again. Some say it was shot in 10, some say it was shot in 12. I don't know. But yeah, Cougar Cult was shot over in a few days. And it was meant to be, it was a big deal because Michelle Bauer had come out of retirement for it. And it would be the first time we get to see the 3 Titans, Linnea, Brinke, and Michelle, all together again. They were together in Nightmare Sisters. I think. Well, Linnea and Michelle were in Assault of the Party Nerds. I think that they. I like this scene when they're in the car. I think this is. Yeah, when they're in the car and Andras Jones starts puking out the window, and it's just cute. Michelle has no lines in this, I don't think, in the scene, and it's just cute because I like her wincy face, and she plugs her ears when Andras is puking out the window. So even though she didn't have any lines and didn't have anything to do, she came up with something. Hal Havins is very much. And Michelle's plugging hers. Hal Havins is very much playing Stooge again. And I still to this day have not seen Witch Trap. Which I think he's in that. Pretty sure Linnea's in that too. And that's a Kevin Tenney film, Kevin Tenney of Night of the Demons. Cougar Cult. That was a big fucking deal. And a lot of people were looking forward to it. I knew that I was going to see it. And thankfully, this was around the time where my vision was okay enough where I actually could see it. I knew I was going to see it. I wasn't going to spend any money on it. I was going to wait for somebody to make a copy of it and give it to me. Because I knew that the chances of it being good were very, very small. Because in when we were in 2012, there had been so many fucking attempts to recapture this golden era of low budget filmmaking. And because there were so many new writer-directors, filmmakers who grew up on these movies and were trying to recapture the magic of this time of the 80s by either making movies that were set in the 80s or meant to look like they were made in the 80s. Everything was 80s. Let's recapture the the 80s horror genre. Let's make all of our movies look like they took place in the 80s. Let's get Linnea, let's get Brink, let's get all these actors and actresses of this time and try to recapture this bygone era, and it never fucking worked. It always looked like something. It looked like it was. It looked like something that it. Why can't I phrase this? The only thing it looked like was what it was, not what it was trying to be. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And I knew I'd been burned so many fucking times, and I knew that's what fucking Cougar Cult was gonna be, and it wasn't. It wasn't necessarily a movie that was trying to cash in on this era, but it was trying to cash in more on getting the three main scream queens of the 80s back together again. And I think Linnea missed the first day because she had food poisoning, which is a bad sign right there. That everybody should have known going in it that it wasn't going to be good. And yeah, it just focused primarily on slow panning shots of guys in their underwear.
Well, I'm not. Let's just find a trophy and get out of here.
One of my favorite parts is when Hal gets the trophy and goes, he's a big one.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
I can't believe we're going this long and Linnea hasn't even shown up yet.
Okay, look. The trophy case has got to be somewhere around in here.
You know, this might go a little faster if we split up.
Okay. So, which one of you lucky ladies wants to go with me?
We'll go this way, you two that way.
I get a homosexual vibe from him.
Poor girls who just can't trust themselves with this.
I think this was before Andras did Elm Street Part 4. Because this was shot in September of 87 and then had a limited theatrical release in January of 88. So they really didn't spend a whole lot of time with... Oh, there's Linnea.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yay.
You stay there, pal, or I'll lay you right the fuck out.
Oh, hey, I'm not gonna.
And supposedly, according to IMDb trivia, she had issues with the profanity in the movie and was trying to tweak her lines and... What? I don't remember Linnea ever having issues with cursing.
Sort of.
Yeah, dream on, Toad. What is this, Midnight Wimp Bowling League?
What are you, the Bride of Dracula?
Oh,
Jump back.
jump back. Prom queen's on the loose.
Or is it high school hookers?
Well, this is Lisa.
Some of the one-liners are really bad.
Happy? Jesus.
What's the matter with Taffy?
Like, what are you, the Bride of Dracula? That's
Well,
not
we
a
don't
good...
know Taffy.
That's not a good
It's her
burn.
name.
Anyway, Lisa and Taffy are being initiated into a sorority.
Oh, coeds. Figures.
And in order to get into the sorority, they have to steal a bowling trophy.
Another one of my favorite lines is
Legal.
Yeah, so what do you
when
do?
they're trying to break into the trophy case, and she breaks it like
Get out of here.
that, and it just goes assholes and walks away.
Trophy were gone.
And not Andras or Hal, the other guy, the homosexual, who gives me the homosexual vibes. I like when he goes, oh, she's got a real attitude problem.
Times are tough, pal.
Calvin. You can call me Calvin. If you
Okay,
need
well, we
money-
can call him Calvin, because I don't want to call him Andras, because Andras is such an unusual name.
Hey, shithead. I'm robbing the fucking place.
Another one of my...
Yeah, sorry, I
another one of my least favorite lines,
Hey, man.
and it's wait,
Yeah?
Are those fucking glasses for real?
that right there. What the hell was that? That was again. That was not a good burn, and I don't like the way she hit fucking so hard. Are those fucking glasses for real?
Maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe we shouldn't even steal this.
Michelle's kind of whiny in this.
We'll borrow it. We'll bring it back and drop it off. Anonymously.
Besides, they'll probably blame it on that bitch.
Maybe they'll blame it all on us.
Only if we're caught. Come on, man. You're taking all night. Look, I'm doing the best
I was looking on, well, when I was looking on Wikipedia.
work.
Oh, and speaking.
Side.
Wait.
Gently. Gently.
Assholes.
You know, she's got a real attitude problem.
And I bet you that line wasn't even meant to be funny. Wait. I want Hal to say, "He's a big one."
He said big one.
Yeah. That's balsa wood. I didn't know that. But according to Wikipedia, in 2019, speaking of, you know, recapturing a bygone era and trying to get the Scream Queen Titans together again, it was announced that there was going to be a sequel to Sorority Babes, and David Dakota was going to direct, and the three Scream Queens were going to be in it, and I guess they were going to try to get some other people, and it was going to be done by Full Moon, I guess. And there's nothing on IMDb, and if it was going to happen, well, we do have COVID going on still.
I don't have any parents.
But if this was announced in 2019, I guess it depends on when in 2019. But again, these movies are shot over like a fucking week at most. So I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened already, unless COVID
Jerk alone.
blocked production.
Now get out of here and leave me alone. Or I'll stuff this trophy so far up that boy's ass, you'll see it every time he opens his mouth.
Well, let's go. Calvin?
Here comes the imp, voiced by Dukey Flyswatter, whose that's a pseudonym he goes by. I think he passed away. But he was in a lot of these movies. He was in a lot of Full Moon. He was in a lot of Fred Olin Ray. He was in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. He played the bartender in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
Holy shit.
Unholy shit.
Yeah, that was not a good one-liner. This movie does not have. It's not quotable.
I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, baby, it was really cramped in there. You were pretty definitely crippling my style, too.
Well, some of the imp's lines are quotable. Some of them. And the imp is so ridiculously, obviously a puppet.
Oh, your little faces are just so full of surprise. Well, I'm just as happy to be here as you are. What are you staring at? This ain't no freak show.
Oh,
Oops. Hold them, Olympian, just a little bit, Grandy. No fun being locked up like that, especially in a bowling trophy.
I don't believe this.
Are you for real?
Well, of course I'm for real. As real as you are. My.
something that well, I don't know if I should touch on, but
That's brilliant.
I'm kind of running out of things to say about the movie, so I guess I will. But
Aren't you, boys?
I,
Ain't you glad, boys?
Angela Boy, I like that word. Supposedly,
Stop it, you little
this was when things started to go downhill for Robin Still, personally. And one of her, I think she might have been bipolar or something, but she was also an alcoholic, and when she drank to excess, and when she drank to excess, she became combative, and she and Linnea did not get along on this movie, and I believe they even came to blows a couple times.
You don't know what you're dealing with. I mean, maybe the wishes could come true and then go bad on you. I don't know. I hear that's happened sometimes. What are you talking about?
Maybe you better listen to Calvin. Facts.
Thanks, Spider.
Maybe you should shut up, both of you. Oh, come on. Indeed, I'm shocked to find so much distrust from one so young. Don't matter to me. Either you want the wish or you don't.
No, I want it. I want it.
Good. What do you want?
Don't, Jimmy. Gold. I want gold. Lots of it.
I like it when he gets the gold and he says, "I want to get my nails done and my hair." What the fuck is that?
Thank you. This is good. Thank you. I'll get my nails done. I'll get my hair.
See? What are you gonna go? What? You gonna go get a manicure and a perm? Like, what the fuck?
Nothing to it.
It's for real. Oh my god, they're getting wishes.
I wonder, I always assumed that the movie The Initiation played a role in this, because I think, I could be wrong because I kind of talked over it, but I think the mall or the bowling alley is owned by Babs' father or something like that. And I would assume so anyway, because how else would they have access to the security system? And how would they?
Yeah, that's for me.
And how else would they have gotten the door open? And the security system disarmed. So I believe the bowling alley is run by Babs' father, and in The Initiation, Daphne Zuniga's father owned the mall that they had to break into to steal the night watchman's uniform.
We'll see you guys later.
Keith, how dare you? Lisa, don't you go with him.
I got a bad feeling.
How bad?
Real bad.
That's another not so great line.
Don't leave it yet. The fun's just begun.
I don't know why I'm like picking apart the fucking dialogue. It's not like I was. Oh shit. I literally just. Oh, there's Buck Flower, George Buck Flower, R.I.P. If you ever, and it's rare that you do, hear him talk in his real voice, it is jarring, because he does this kind of hillbilly voice in 99% of the things that he's been in. But there are movies like Criminally Insane and the fuck was it, Berserker, where he talks in his real voice, and it's so weird because you never hear him talk like that. He always talks with this affectation. Where the fuck is my Gatorade, bitch? Daddy needs a drink.
Well, wait. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Where did I put it?
We got to.
You're on net. You helped get
Oh.
Uncle Dickie out, didn't you, sweetheart?
Yes.
This is so stupid. She wants to be queen of the prom,
No.
and he makes that wish come true. How does that? That doesn't even make sense. All he does is give her a dress and a tiara.
You're a pretty girl, and I like you. I don't tell the others, but you can have one wish now and one wish later. When I lie to you,
Mm-hmm.
alright, isn't there something you always wanted and never got?
Well, all through school. I
Oh,
was
here it
wanting
is.
to be queen of the prom.
And it never happened? Oh, shit, what a shame. But we'll fix that.
Ta-da! I think she's got a sash and everything.
Quit looking at me and turn around, you knuckleheads. But really,
And what the fuck is this carnival music?
Am I really? Am I really? I'm getting the hell out of here.
go ahead, be a party pooper. You'll be sorry.
And by the way, I'm not, I'm just having fun with this movie because I know that's what you're supposed to do. This is definitely not a movie that was meant to be taken seriously, even when it was released in 1988. So I'm not, I'm not riffing on it per se. I'm just, I'm just having fun. I do love it though. I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. And so when I say this is silly or this is stupid, I don't mean it in a bad way necessarily. The one sorority girl who gets turned into a vampire always reminded me of the fucking. There's a she's like the bride of Frankenstein in Daffy Duck's Quackbusters. I know you've seen Daffy Duck's Quackbusters, don't bullshit me. That was essential viewing if you were a kid in the 80s.
Another party pooper. Can't have that.
Speaking of sequels to this, there were two that had similar titles.
Yeah. It's starting.
There was
You better tell the others.
Sorority Girls and the Creature from Hell, which I don't think had anything to do with this and was awful, and I saw once and don't remember it. And there was another movie called Sorority Babes. Sorority Babes in the... Fuck, I don't remember.
What's the idea?
I don't remember. But it came out in the late 80s, early 90s, something like that. And I don't know if it was supposed to be a sequel. And I don't remember what it was about at all. All I remember was that it was very, very low budget. It was shot on video. It used like library music for the score. And when I say library music for the score, I mean like music from a library of horror movie scores, which was what they did with Intruder, the movie Intruder. Yeah, the opening title theme, as soon as you hear it, it's immediately recognizable. But I remember buying I think it was the Tomb of Terrors set. It was 50 movies. Because I knew that that's the only way you could get it, because it wasn't released, I don't think, anyplace else. And I think everything else in that set was garbage. It was a lot of brain damage movies, and brain damage is not good at all. I think the wishes go bad pretty quickly.
Oh no.
The way you make me feel.
Oh, it's nothing like the way I feel.
Good. You feel it too.
Oh yeah.
Hold me closer.
If you moved any closer, I'd be behind you.
Oh, you're so pretty.
No, I stole that line. Honestly.
So hot. Oh, and you're so honest too.
So the only one who really doesn't,
Oh jeez.
who doesn't, have his wish like go so terrible is the homosexual who wished to have heterosexual with Michelle Bauer, and supposedly he's supposed to have a nude scene in the locker room.
This could be a strike. It could be a strike. Oh, no, it looks like it's going to be cut ahead. Well, thank you, fat boys.
Oh, Hal Havins is dead, and that you could hear that the squishiness. It was clearly a fucking made of Nerf material, but yeah, the one with Michelle Bauer was supposed to have a nude scene, and he then changed his mind, and then David Dakota said, "Okay, well, you at least have to show up in your briefs, of course, because we know David Dakota has a fetish for young guys in briefs." And then he ended up showing up to set in boxers. It's interesting because it's rare, from what I hear, for men in movies, especially these kinds of movies, to turn down a nude scene or like be well, I don't want to say that's not the right term. That's not the way I should have said it. Men to be uncomfortable doing a nude scene. It's rare. The only other time I remember that happening was in Society, because Billy Warlock was supposed to have a nude scene, and either he didn't. Well, I'm pretty sure he didn't do it, because he said he didn't do it on the Blu-ray. I think he had a double. I think, but he said he would do it and then changed his mind because he wasn't comfortable with it. But that is unusual, because men are normally or generally very comfortable being naked in movies. And in the Jason Goes to Hell, I know, not a very popular movie, but in the Jason Goes to Hell commentary track, the director Adam Marcus talks about the guy who has that sex scene in a tent with the girl who gets split in half. Like, he did not give a fuck. He was ready to bear all. And according to him, that's not unusual. And I have heard that elsewhere. And you can see, too, in movies where men or the male actors are a lot more free with their bodies. And the women are all, ooh, my boobs. Don't look at them. Especially nowadays, and I said this recently too in another commentary that's probably going to end up being posted after this, because there's, as I said before, in another commentary that's probably going to come out after this, there's no linear fucking schedule to when I post stuff. I record commentaries, I put them in a folder, then I just pick them and schedule them. That's what I do, pretty much. Unless it's something that Unless it's something that I really want to post.
Maybe I'm already dead.
So what is she, a vampire? Or is she a zombie? Or is she a demon? Like, what is she?
We've really got to talk.
There's nothing to say. I'm yours.
No, see, that's exactly what we've got to talk
I can't believe they're not having sex yet. Well, yeah, I kind of can, because he's
I think you're doing this because it's
a homosexual.
Look, I don't think you would be doing this under normal circumstances. Oh.
Does it matter?
Yes.
She doesn't even get his, didn't even get his pants off yet, I don't think.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Keith, I have your pants. Find a weapon. What am I supposed to do? Clean her back? Come on. I wonder what they clean this.
Getting in.
Shit.
Oh, just like John Wayne. Pow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
While I was looking for the supposed sequel, the new sequel to this, I was looking at Linnea's credits, and she still works constantly,
Let's get out of here.
and so does David Dakota. And for a while, he was doing all these 1313 movies, and then he went to do a bunch of Christmas movies, and now he's doing all these movies. I think they're TV movies with the word wrong in the title. The wrong cheerleader, the wrong teacher, the wrong neighbor, the wrong husband, the wrong dick, the wrong director. He's obviously not very discerning about the projects he takes.
Damn. Sucker's gonna be the size of a donkey's dick come daylight. I guess I'll just have to learn to scratch my balls with the other hand. Good thing I love my work.
I don't know how true this is, but supposedly this script was written in like a week, and it only had one draft, which is unheard of for movie scripts. It's unheard of for anything that gets produced, whether it's a movie script, a short story, a novel, a play. Who the fuck like puts the first draft out there? Well, if this is the first draft, I think it turned out well. For the most part, I think it turned out okay. I think because of the production and the cast, but a lot of the one-liners, I think, definitely could have used some spit polish, because they're not very funny, or clever, or witty, or quotable. But that's okay, because I'm having fun with the movie regardless. And it's been ages since I've seen this, or heard this. But I did watch it pretty regularly when I finally did get a copy of it, and then when I got the DVD. I remember when I got the DVD, the only extras were the trailer for Sorority Babes and a trailer gallery of all like Full Moon or fucking Charles Band movies, like the Creepazoids trailer and blah blah blah, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So, oh my god, it's so awesome. This movie, this DVD has a shit ton of trailers on it. And it was full frame and everything. And I thought it was so
First, we
great.
gotta find some weapons.
I thought it was
Snack bar, there should be
so
some
great.
knives there.
What good are knives? A gun or at least they'll run it down.
It's better than nothing.
I think they do this same thing in the movie The Pool that nobody's seen.
That's funny.
But yeah, I think there's a snack bar where when the guy and girl or whoever's being chased,
I was
or
just thinking.
they go to the snack bar to find weapons.
The first time you saw me, you said, "Hi, do you come here often?"
That's what Jimmy said you should say.
You did?
Stupid, I know.
Yeah, what? Very stupid.
Oh, we got the romantic music. I wonder if Andras is still doing music. He
Keith, thank goodness.
he fronted several different bands over the years. And he was always the front man. He was always Mr. Jones, and it was always Mr. Jones and fill in the blank. But yeah, when he was with a band called The Previous, and it was Mr. Jones and The Previous, he did a couple of songs for the movie Listen with Brooke Langdon, Sarah Buxton, and Gordon Curry. And he doesn't have a bad voice. He's kind of a crooner. Kind of.
Oh, God.
Kind of soft voice.
What's happening? Oh, God.
You could definitely tell that there's something a little off with Robin.
The rest of her's over here.
Because her acting is really not great. I think she does a much better job in Slumber Party
I
Massacre.
think I'm gonna be sick.
You have nothing left to throw up, and we don't have the time to waste for you to try.
I still can't believe that was a wig.
Damn it.
If I probably could see it now, I would be like, oh, yeah. How did I not realize that? What am I, stupid?
This ought to do it.
I hear my neighbors. They just came out. So if you hear them, you just have to deal with it, because I'm not sticking my head out the window and telling them to go in, because one of them sounds really fucking scary.
Are you doing this? What did you do with Ron and Frankie?
She doesn't have the best dialogue to deliver either, so I guess it's really not her fault. I like her with that hairstyle, though. The blonde suits her.
Wanda and Frankie have been made over into demons of a sort.
Yeah, they're demons. There you go.
Demonic stamina, but without spellcaster powers. You know, the both of them, my own fault for choosing such unpromising material. Coeds, really. What I am doing is tormenting you. That is what imps do. Goofy. And I do take pride in my work. But then I pull the wings off of flies.
Please. Stop this.
You don't understand. I have to do this. I must.
No. No.
A nasty lesson for a nasty girl.
Oh.
Company's arrived.
And then he turns her into fucking Jennifer Rubin from Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Oh, God. I don't know why I never thought of this before, but I think it was kind of in poor taste when Andras Jones, Calvin, throws the Molotov cocktail at her. And he says, "Hey, Babs, how about a cocktail?" And meanwhile, she's a violent alcoholic.
There's no pulse. Would a demon have a pulse?
No, Linnea. No, no, he wouldn't.
Any other time she would come up after us. We beat her. She's dead.
He's a little too chill.
Hey, who's in there?
Lisa, is that you?
Come on. Come on. She's dead. Did you hear that? We can't beat you.
What do I care?
Oh, that was
You
bad.
take my place.
Ooh.
Let's find the others.
This really is a very sedate performance by Andras Jones. Everybody else is like, or Linnea. I mean, for example, who he should be playing off of her intensity. Taking this a little more seriously. These are dire circumstances, Andras. AJ. Mr. Jones.
Close the door fast. Do you believe this? Hello? Hey,
Oh.
wake up! Hey!
I am almost positive that he has like the same fucking. I would be willing to bet that he wears his own clothes because it always seems like he like fucking has that hat and the sweater and the plaid shirt
Oh, yeah, no
and the old man slacks. He always looks the same, especially like if you compare him in this to fucking 976 Evil 2, he looks exactly the same. Wearing the same clothes.
story. He'll love it.
Well, there are some demons that are murdering my friends,
And especially in low budget movies, if you're willing to bring your own wardrobe, they really like that.
You both kids. Drugs are not the answer. What you gotta do like it says on the TV. You gotta learn to say no.
Hey, don't interrupt him. It gets better.
well, I'll start at the beginning.
Must you?
It was an initiation. Initiation? It was initiation, and we had to help these two girls get into a sorority. To get in, they had to steal a bowling trophy.
What? Steal a bowling trophy?
Bowling trophy.
What bowling trophy?
Well, it was a large one. It opened up.
You didn't open it up though, did you?
Well, I didn't, no. Yeah, it got open.
My God. My God. My God. My God, you know what you done? You done let the imp out.
You know about it?
30 years he's been in there and you let him out. How many's dead?
3 that we know of.
Well, there was two of the girls turned into demons, and we had to kill one of them. And then one of them is still loose, and then there are 2 of our friends that were still missing. So
30 years.
I'm really glad that. I mean, like, I don't know if
Whole damn place sealed up.
the voice that Dukey Flyswatter does for the imp is exactly racially sensitive. However, if you look at the trailer and you listen to the voice that they were originally going to use for the imp, yeah, it's definitely better that they switched it. Dave McCabe was supposedly one of David Dakota's many aliases. He also had a lot of female aliases. I know Ellen Cabot was one of them. I think that's where he directed fucking
one day,
A murder weapon under. Speaking of when I was talking about Dream Maniac, when it has the opening titles that go on forever and ever and ever. Murder Weapon. Oh my god. The titles, especially the opening titles, they linger and linger and linger. And then there's that opening scene with Linnea and Lyle Wagner. And she's supposed to be in an institution, and it goes on
Yeah, you're right. They did call the cops.
way too long.
And the cops figured old Dave done it, and they took him away. Poor fella. He died that very year in the gas
I
chamber.
wonder if opening titles on a black backdrop is still done.
No, sir, right up till the very
This is
end.
kind of funny though when he
They
keeps
used black magic to call up some
he can't hear what everybody's saying.
And then he said things just got out of hand, and this imp just started killing everything in sight.
That is really the most stupid damn story I've ever heard.
No, it wasn't a bird. It was an imp, you see. No, Dave told me that, and I believe him, because I was there. I seen them bodies. Oh, it was terrible, terrible, terrible.
But how'd the imp get in the trophy?
What?
How'd the imp get in the trophy?
Oh, that. Well, McCabe told me about that just before he got arrested. You see, he trapped him in there. It seems an imp, when he gets trapped up in close places like that, he loses all his powers, you know, like old King, what's his name? Solomon, you know.
Yeah, and the
bottled up
leprechaun.
all the genies like you read about.
And you just left him on a shelf for 30 years.
Hey, I ain't gonna mess with no black magic. Besides, everything is fine till you kids
What the hell is his job? Is he supposed to be the fucking like janitor or something?
What are we supposed to do now?
You trap him like McCabe did, I guess. You do what old King Saul would have done.
I mean, like he's got an
Get him in a
office
headlock.
at a
kick him in
desk
the
with a
butt,
TV.
Put the little shit right back into the trophy. It really sounds like no problem to me. I'm sure you can handle it, Calvin.
I hear tell something about turning magic against itself, but I don't know how you do that. I think what you gotta do is probably get him in a headlock and kick him in the butt and then stuff the little shit back in the trophy.
Great suggestion.
Well, at least we know what we're up against, so probably the best thing to do is go find the others, huh?
Okay, let's do that. Now listen, I want you to wait here. You lock the door and listen for us, please.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. This dang thing's going on the blink again.
Here. I said you wait here, lock the door, and listen for us.
It still ain't working. I tell you what I better do. I think I better wait right here and lock the door and then listen for it.
Why would you tell somebody with a hearing problem to listen for you? And I think I'm almost positive they don't. His character doesn't come back. What happens to him?
Oh, gee. What took you so long? Been waiting.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I saw a lot of these movies at the age that I saw them, because there are certain movies that you have to have seen at a certain time in your life when you're at an impressionable age, because people who were in their 40s who saw this when it first came out, you really think they enjoyed it? You really think they watched it over and over again? No fucking way. These movies are meant for adolescents.
Goddamn she-demons, I hate them. Oh!
Shut up. Hey, I saw a first aid kit in the storage room.
Yeah. She-demons, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Just come on.
Oh god, some of those one-liners are so stupid.
Babs.
No, Lisa.
No, Babs, please.
Time to continue the initiation.
Initiation.
Babs. Ooh. Oh, no, we're to run to. No. Babs. No. Still want to join the sorority, Lisa? No.
Mm-mm. Me neither. Speaking of which, the sorority house was supposedly the same house from Murder Weapon and another movie that Linnea was in.
Hey, Calvin. Hey, come on. Come out of it. Hey, come on.
What?
From what I
Passed
hear,
out on me.
David Dakota uses his own house for a lot of his movies,
Hey, it's nothing. It's mostly a
and he also rents it out for porno
song about.
movie shoots.
Figure.
A lot.
Beat 'em to death, we can burn 'em. Now you're gonna do the lighting. I'm gonna do the throwing, and we better get it right the first time.
I can't, that you really, I don't know.
Bottles.
Either you're really hard up for cash, you gotta pay the mortgage,
My hero.
or you like the idea of strangers fucking in your house and I would not be able to trust that they had done a thorough cleaning after they had left. I would not want to touch any surfaces. I would be paranoid 24 hours a day that I was sitting in somebody else's semen. I prefer to sit in my own semen, thank you very much.
Just you and me.
Oh. I wonder how much of this fighting was not choreographed. Yeah, Linnea also had issues with Ginger Lynn, but Ginger Lynn
Throw it.
has issues with fucking everybody.
Ooh, starting to try this much as I am, huh?
Ginger Lynn seems like somebody who is impossible to get along with.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that it's been 30 plus years when she and Tracy Lords had their little, rivalry because Tracy was younger and prettier and had bigger boobs and came on the scene and kind of stole the spotlight from Ginger Lynn. And Ginger is still bitter about it to this day.
Nice throw.
Thanks. What a stench, huh?
It's too bad we had to kill her.
What?
I really like the outfit she had on.
Womp, womp. Oh, he does come back. So I guess he got killed.
I found Lisa.
Dead?
Yep. Sorry.
It's okay.
Those were pretty mean. I'm gonna get a first aid kit from the office.
No, forget it. I'm okay. Let's just get the old guy and get out of here.
I think it sounded pretty easy. I mean, we still got the imp to deal with.
Want to stuff that little bastard back in the trophy. Just like old King Saul would have done.
Well, McCabe must use some mean black magic on him.
Why is he so chill?
I don't care. Let's just fucking do it.
I don't. This is quite the lackluster performance, Andras.
Quiet. I wonder why she's not trying to get out.
I don't know.
That damn imp. I wonder why he hasn't shown up.
Oh no. That crazy ass bitch. Is that the fucking fire axe? I would assume. Oh.
It should be against itself.
Calvin, get the car.
Car? What car? Don't they leave on her motorcycle? Oh, the one the in the back seat. That's right. That's right. Forgot about that.
Monster in the back seat. Yo, let's drink in the book. Except for dying.
I don't know why. And here we go. I doubt I'm the only one, but whenever there's movies, and I think they even say, too, but whenever there's movies like this where there's some kind of a supernatural element that leaves a slew of dead bodies and we have like 2 people or 1 person left, it's like, I can't help but wonder, how are they going to explain this? And how are they not going to be tried and convicted for murdering all these people? There's the love and bloom music again.
That's what stopped Rhonda. The imp loses its power when it's trapped.
So it's finally over.
Come on, Calvin, we gotta go. One, someone must have heard this, and the cops will be on their way.
Who cares?
You want to explain 8 mutilated bodies laying
Yeah,
around?
there you go.
The imp did it.
Yeah, right. You want to open the can and prove it? Come on, you coming with me or not?
Where are we going?
My place.
Calvin's going to get some ass. I couldn't tell, and I don't remember, but I wonder if that was really her riding the motorcycle. Wonder if she really knows how to ride a motorcycle. Or she had a double. Well, that was Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-o-Rama. Still pretty fun. Not as much. I don't think I would have had. I don't think it's as much fun as I thought it was, but still fun. And you know, anything with Linnea and Michelle. Well, as always, thanks for staying with me to the bitter end. And then another Thanks for staying with me to the bitter end here in the darkness. And yeah, I hope you will come back for more commentaries real soon. So until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.